Monster.
I'm your number one fan.
Now clear your minds. Notice what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
Just been informed that zombies have entered the building. They're at the door. They're coming in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. I'm your host, as always, Corey, and alongside me is my good pal, Daniel. What's going on, Daniel?
What's up? How y'all doing?
And alongside him is our good pal, Tony. What's going on, Tony?
Good, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing great. How y'all been?
Doing good, man.
Good, been good. Just I must say I've been really busy, so I haven't had a chance to watch many movies. But I do need to get back on that. We just had some personal stuff go down in the family, so family always takes precedent over everything else. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But hopefully I could sit down on some this weekend and get caught up on some slashers. But we do have a fun one to talk about tonight.
Well, without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and jump into cleanup or housekeeping real quick.
Let's do it.
You will.
Yep. You are listening to the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're there. Be sure to leave a review. Leave a 5-star review. That would be great. You can follow us on the socials. We have a closed group on the Facebooks. Just go to the search bar, type in the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. It is a closed group. Ask nicely, we'll let you in. Twitter at Monster_Corner. TikTok at Midnight Monster 20. And if you want to stay anonymous, you can always email us at midnightmonstercorner@gmail.com. I think I covered everything. But,
thank you, Daniel. Folks, we are covering 2012's Stitches, and this came down from our suggestion. This is our suggestion episode. But yeah, we're excited about this one. Well, first thoughts, guys.
First thoughts on Stitches. I think it's pretty cool that we ended up getting this one, man, considering we just did Terrifier not too long ago. It's pretty thing that this one actually popped up and we were able to episode on it because, I mean, we have another really, really awesome killer clown flick.
Yeah.
It's almost a hodgepodge of everything. Like it's like a killer clown movie. It's a slasher film. Supernatural slasher film. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean this slasher has it all. It has fun kills, great one-liners, a great cast of characters. A lot of humor. A lot of subtle humor, a lot of in-your-face humor. Just all around great movie. I really enjoyed it. I was actually able to pick this one up, pick a hard copy up a while back. I don't think it was that bad. I think I believe it was $10, and I got it was 50% off sale. Scratch and spin. I think I only got it for $5.
Nice.
Can't beat that. Great movie. So,
and that's a good thing about this film is it's pretty readily available. Like you can pretty much find it, if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And even more so if you have Amazon Prime. I know it's not on Tubi, and we usually shout Tubi. It isn't on Tubi. However, I did watch it on Amazon Prime. I do have a hard copy, but just out of convenience, it was easier for me. So.
Yeah, Tubi let me down this week. But there is a movie on Tubi called Stitches, but it is not the right Stitches. This is the one with the clown, 2012. So, starring Ross Noble, who's actually a Australian stand-up comedian.
And you can tell too, his comedic timing is fucking choice, and it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
It's I don't know if that's like more so like his creative control with the jokes, but I know that like either way, it's spot on the humor, Um, even like when he's referencing previous kills, like when he kicks the guy's head off, and what's his name? One of the I think Bolger. One of the
Very
friends was asking where what's his name was, or Paul. Ask where Paul was or whatever, and he's like he had to head out or something. So just this cheesy one-liners that just fit so well, you
Mhm.
know. So, but definitely don't sleep on this one. I mean, there's a lot of like clown killer flicks. There's even a movie called Clown.
which is good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It really is.
Uh, I can't help but notice like the scar over the eye and on the front cover of that one too.
Mhm.
It's
It's
That was
Eli Ross.
yeah. I was about to, yeah. It's Eli Roth. Yeah.
very dark, not nearly as comedic
No.
any comedy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any comical relief in there.
It
Pretty
looks
serious
like
tone.
it. But so yeah, definitely don't sleep on Stitches. It's good. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Hmm.
So
And for the listeners out there, we will go into heavy spoilers on this one too. It came out in 2012, so it's been out for a little while now. But if you haven't seen it or want to go into it, kind of seeing it for the first time, like be going into some spoilers, talking a lot about the plot. I mean, it's a slasher film; we know how the plot goes, but we're gonna dive into it pretty deep. So, like I said,
Hmm.
spoiler warning. But one thing that this movie does that I noticed, and I've seen it a couple times, and I know as horror fans, we talk a lot about CGI and how much it can be detrimental to a film, especially a horror film. In big budget blockbuster in Hollywood and stuff, it works. It's needed. Like Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, fantastic CGI. It's warranted.
that's the best of the best CGI though.
It makes sense.
It's like
A lower
yeah.
it's like CGI, like really, like you always have to go. I would suggest always go practical with the blood and the gore. But this movie, for some reason, it blends the CGI and the practical effects so seamlessly. Like
Yeah.
it really feels like it's not a detriment, like it normally is on a lower budget film. I think it's fantastic because I really paid attention to it, and yeah, you notice it, but it really complements the practicality so much better than any other film would. Um, and I dig it, man. It flows. I noticed that was one thing I noticed watching it this time. It's like, man, it blends so well. It's not very like jarring and very obvious. It's just kind of fits the tone because it's a out there it's not slapstick. It's just the humor is like a mile a minute. It's going. There's something going on. So it to me it just kind of it fits the tone of the movie.
Yeah. There's so many scenes where like it doesn't ever really take you out, like because there's some movies where when they try to fit humor in like comedic relief, like it just doesn't fit and it takes you out of the movie. And you're just like, this movie it works so well because it's a clown, for one. And two, the movie it sets that tone right from the beginning, where like the kids are running around at the birthday party talking shit, he's like living in a trailer, banging this prostitute.
The cliff. Very fucking odd placement for those.
Right on the edge of the cliff, yeah. And like this woman, not only is she a prostitute, but she's like a clown prostitute. She's like madly in love with like the whole clown community. You find that out through like subtle details of the movie, but so he's like drives an old beater. He's heading to the party. He's steering the car with his feet. Like while he's on the phone.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up.
How are you even?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that. I was
gas pedal.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
No.
It's great.
He's,
Small clown car, so it's fitting because it's a small car.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As soon as he gets to the party, he pops out, and then like 10 other clowns pop out. That trope, like you can fit
Mhm.
one small car, but no, it doesn't. That doesn't have. But to me, it's pretty neat that it's just a tiny little small car, and then that plays in later on in the movie, which is fucking hilarious. There's a scene which I will get into when we get toward the end, but it's so fucking funny. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
And then he gets to the party, and then the mom's like, "You're late." He's like, "You're ugly."
That
I was dying,
right there.
man. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That's where you know you're in for a good treat. That line right
Yeah.
there. That when it was delivered, I I instantly was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun ride.
Yeah. And so he's trying to like perform all these tricks and just do his job. These kids are being shitheads to him. And one kid's like, "You're not my dad." He's like, "I could be," So there's quick quips like that, are so good. And so they're terrorizing this poor clown. And one kid actually ties his shoelaces together, and he trips, and of course he falls onto the knife. Which everyone knows you're not supposed to put knives face up or blade up in a dishwasher.
Yeah. And then who leaves the dishwasher open like that?
Just leaves it all wide open.
Yeah.
So he trips and falls. Actually, I think he gets hit in the head by a football or something.
Yeah,
Trips and falls, and then lands on the knife. Which is actually kind of cool. As I was checking out the trivia on IMDb, and apparently his death was foretold, like the scene right before that, because the kids are in the yard playing. One kid trips over the thing, another kid gets hit with the ball, so it's kind of like foreshadowing a little bit as to how he's gonna die, which I thought was interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Just a little,
I'll have to go back.
yeah, a little tiny detail they added right before the scene where he dies, which I thought was kind of cool. Like they didn't have to add it in there, but it's kind of like if you're paying enough attention, you'll realize that's kind of like the foreshadowing. So I thought it was kind of cool little touch. I thought this film was very well shot. That's one thing that the way they did certain things, like the scene where Paul's at the party, he's dressed up like the clown, and he has to piss really bad, and he runs upstairs, and he walks past the doorway, and in the background you see Stitches walking with him. Like I just thought that was really cool.
It was almost like a mirror image. It was really well done.
Right? Yeah.
I wrote that in my notes. I'm like, that was such a cool shot. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I even think I was watching it by myself. I even said out loud, I was like, "Wow, that was really cool." And I was like, "Oh well, by myself right now."
Yeah, cinematography was actually very well done for this film. And I might want to piggyback off you a little bit and say that the location was pretty good too. You had this big house that was meant to be for the party and stuff, but you also had there was shots in the yard and stuff like that, and stuff like that. I believe it was filmed in Ireland, correct?
That's
so it's very moist and foggy area, I'm sure, and
moist.
you can see that in the graveyard shots, which, by the way, I love the graveyard shots. I think those are some of my favorite shots.
Yeah, I love the little tower that's smack dab in the middle of the graveyard. That's really cool. Like the mausoleum, rather. It's basically a mausoleum for fucking clown eggs. How creepy is that?
Honestly, I think some of my favorite stuff on this movie is the clown lore that they get into. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Man. Like their secret society of clown, all they do, behind the scenes, nobody knows about this shit. They go into the graveyard, do chants, and they have each one of them, when they become a clown, they have a painted egg of their clown face, and that's clown soul or whatever, and it's neat, man. They really get deep into it. It's fucking pretty cool.
It's like clown necromancy.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're into.
Yeah,
clown necromancy.
I love how is it Tom? Is that our main character, Tom?
Tom, yes.
Tom and Kate. They're now older. They're in the treehouse, and he's like trying to explain shit to her, and he's got like books on this shit, and she was like, "What does this all mean?" And he's like, "I don't really know, but they have eggs."
Yeah. Also, I like how she found out that he was like looking at her window.
And he was like, he backed
right
it up
there,
real fast. I'm
He's
not a
like,
creep. I'm not a
I'm
creep.
not a peeping Tom.
That was a good line though, because he's like, "I'm not a peeping Tom, I'm a mental Tom." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty."
Yeah.
I like that.
That's
Yeah.
the line.
So I like that. You kind of deal with Tom's psyche in the movie too,
Really?
because like he is like psychologically damaged because of what he saw when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That would mess anybody up.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially if you get sprayed by that blood like that. That was fucking insane.
God, that was gnarly. Like,
So
all
cool.
over his face. Yeah. And
It was really just unnecessary. Like when he pulls the knife out, it's just right on him.
Just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like shit.
so, but like the medication he was taking, Hypnosil, was actually, according to IMDb trivia, was the same medicine they used to suppress dreams in Nightmare on Elm Street, which I thought was kind of cool.
Huh.
These little, yeah. And speaking of
Oh,
Tom, Daniel Radcliffe apparently was offered the role as Tom. That would be nice.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Man.
Apparently,
that would've
Quentin Tarantino was also offered the role of Stitches, and even Mark Hamill came close to being cast in the role because Mark Hamill does the voice of the Joker in a lot of the Batman animated series. That would have been pretty cool.
That'd been cool, and I gotta hand it to Ross Noble. Kills this role. Like
He does.
He really does. He is so good and so charismatic as this clown, and so funny. Like everything is just fucking. Everything he does is hilarious. Like even little things, like that he probably like. It's just adding more to the character, but he's just doing them just because he has a comedic background. So he's used to doing stuff like that.
Which I kind of wonder how much of it's ad libbed.
Oh yeah.
Because they kind of knew what they were getting themselves into when they essentially hired a comedic actor.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you will, or comedian to play in this role.
And a lot of stand-up comedians have really dark humor. It's kind of like in the nature.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to a lot of podcasts, like Your Mom's House podcast, for instance. They have a lot of comedians on there who tell their story, and a lot of them just have like interesting stories because they are filled with comedic genius because they've had such like rough lives, and rough backgrounds with like family history and stuff and dark humor. So like this role was almost just made for Ross Noble, like being like the dark humor, and then taking on a role as this killer clown. I mean, it's perfect. And, like Tony said, he nailed it. So
yeah, he really did. I like you were saying, like Quentin Tarantino, like Mark Hamill, like I just, that was fucking mind blowing to see Mark Hamill play Stitches. I would just be,
I could see Mark Hamill maybe. No, I can't even see Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino, that's like out of the box like casting right there. I don't even know who thought of that.
I think, in my opinion, if Stitches was taken more seriously, I think Quentin Tarantino would have landed it perfect.
I don't know.
I could see, because I can't see Quentin Tarantino stepping in and doing, acting like Ross Noble, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see him being as funny as him. But if this was essentially like a clown movie, kind of like Eli Roth clown film, I could see that. I could see him playing a more serious tone killer. My opinion.
It's interesting. No, it really is, man. It's interesting to think. I don't know.
And I don't know if I could see Mark Hamill playing this.
Well, the thing that he's charismatic too, so he would bring some of that to the character, just like Ross Noble did. I don't think Mark Hamill had any background in comedy or anything before he went on to superstardom the way he did. But he does, as the Joker, he has like that charisma, that cunningness that he just brings to the character.
Yeah.
On
So I don't know if I want to see the clown prince of crime though in this movie, because I like because Mark Hamill I think would have added more like a colorful, like, is everybody happy? Like this guy is more like you can tell he looks like he just got out of bed for binge drinking all night, like it works out perfect.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think they hit lightning in a bottle with this the casting of him, and kudos to them. I don't know who came up with it, but that was a great idea on their part. I don't know if they were big fans of his comedy, and they're like, we got to get this guy to play Stitches. He's perfect for the role. Well, he definitely was. I mean, he killed it. So.
Yeah. So, I think one of my favorite lines in the movie is them. They make a reference to social media, but they call it My Face.
Yeah.
But the girl says she gets mad at him. It's Paul and the girl, the redhead. Oh, what's her name in the movie? The bitch, the one that got umbrellaed.
The one that got umbrellaed.
She got umbrellaed hard. Who was that?
Didn't it start with an A?
Possibly. Anyways, the redhead.
Okay.
She's like, she says something about the event. She saw the event on social media or whatever. She's like, I saw the event where everybody's coming on My Face. And it's quick. If you're not listening, you'll miss it.
You're like comedic gold right there.
Yeah, gosh, so funny.
Yeah, I caught on to it. And again, more so, I caught on to it this time than I had before. I never caught on to it before.
For sure.
So that was good. And there's a lot of little one-liners like that, but the whole movie, I think that's really what I enjoyed. I enjoyed I like the over-the-top kills. I really did. I love the humor. Yeah, definitely one I'll go back and watch again for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those movies, man. If you're just having like a bad day or something, you pop in and you just fucking watch it and laugh, and it lifts your spirits up, makes you feel better. It's just one of those movies that just every time you pop in, it's like a comfort film. You watch, you're like, oh man, this movie's so hilarious. Like you just forget anything that's like bothering you. You just enjoy it. It's fun. But going. So I had a question. We really don't get Tom's our main character.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't get a lot of we get it, but subtly. So they had this way of setting up his mom and his relationship. Like she's the workaholic, always, not really there for him a lot. He's kind of by himself a lot and stuff like that. And they do it in such a subtle way where you don't really even have to I wonder what's going on with their relationship and how, it's strained or whatever like that. But they do it in such a subtle way to where she's making him breakfast in the morning and she's on the phone talking like to a business associate or whatever. And she's completely transfixed in the conversation. She's not even paying attention to what she's doing. And he, while she's turned around, this and that, he just goes behind her and throws it away. Like he's done that 100 times before. And it's just like a little subtle thing that they show you that these two have a very strained relationship. And I mean, I don't, because we go from, her throwing this birthday party for him and seeming like a very caring and happy parent with their relationship and whatnot. And all of a sudden it goes to this, like I don't know what happened. There was a rift. I don't know if he's, just been so traumatized by everything that's going on. Because I guess it kind of affected his friends because these kids that he was friends with, they end up he's still friends with a couple of them, but most of them kind of drift apart. They do their own thing. They're not really on the best of terms anymore. So I think this situation or this event psychologically fucked him up, and he really I could tell the kid had anxiety too. Like he had like bad anxiety, and that's something you can definitely tell just from his character and the way he acted and the way he was. He was very unsure of himself a lot of the movie, until like the situation called for him to kind of take charge and do more. But there was a lot of that, going on where I'm like, man, don't do it like this. Do it like this. Like you were questioning him and why he was doing this and that. But you understand that he's got anxiety. Of course, he's not going to do the right thing. He's just over complicating things.
Mhm.
But there's a lot to his character that I going back watching it this time, because really I watched it just for the kills and the humor and this and that. But they try to do something with his character and kind of give him a little bit more depth than your typical like main character in a slasher film. Like
Mhm.
they try to give him a little bit more. They try to give him more to work with. But they did it kind of subtly, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, there's another example of that too. There's a scene where he comes home from, I think, school or whatever. And he pulls up in the driveway. There's a little note on the door that says, "Got you a present. Happy birthday." Walk around the side of the house or whatever. And there's an exact replica of the bike that he's already got.
Yep. He's like, oh, like they did little subtle things like that to kind of, get you into their relationship and how it's strained or something happened.
I think it fits the story because it from the outside in it does look like she's a single parent, and she's a workaholic. It looks like she runs a business or does something because she's going out of town. Just so happens to be on his birthday, so that way him and his friends can throw a birthday bash. I mean, it just kind of fits the story.
Yeah, she's got to have a good job because they live in a fucking mansion.
I think it's nice.
Big house. I just one point I noticed that like I thought everyone at the party left, but what it was is they were at another part of the house where like you couldn't hear any music or commotion,
Mhm.
and like they ran to where the actual party was to warn everybody, oh, Stitches is back or whatever, and it just threw me off for a minute because I was like, wait. I was like, everyone's still here? Because that's how big the house is,
Mhm.
Which there was a problem for me. I'm like, like we were talking about when Paul's getting killed, he's he got his arm ripped off and he's fucking screaming at the top of his lungs. I'm like, does nobody hear him fucking screaming at the top of his lungs?
No, they don't.
But then I'm like, it's such a fucking massive house. He's probably on the other side of the damn house. And no one's even around there to hear that shit. And plus the music's going. And like, I just don't think some people are drunk. Well, most people are drunk at this point. Like, I'm
Or
sure
drinking piss.
Yeah. Or
I mean, let's face it. Let's face it. Paul had it coming. That guy was an asshole.
Oh yeah, Paul was a dick. But what's her name? Kate's boyfriend was an even bigger dick. That guy was an ass.
He deserved it too.
You are so getting sued.
Why does this wine taste like piss?
Yeah.
and then downs the rest of it.
Yeah. They hide him. They did the same shit in America.
I like when they were passing the weed cookie around. Tom just ate the whole thing. Oh man.
That was equivalent to like 40 joints. You're gonna be fucked up. And then I like the next thing.
A bit of a missed opportunity there. When he was like just standing there staring,
Just staring.
And like Kate got there. Vinny was being a good wingman, was trying to like, help him out. He knew he was stoned as hell. But I feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity there on the director's part because he definitely could have made that like he could have made him trip some balls, like to really add to it.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I guess he was kind of going the more conservative
Stitches
approach
could have
there.
fucked with him really badly.
Man, we could have had like a Billy Club scene.
Oh
Where's
man.
the 4-wheeler?
Yeah, where's the 4-wheeler at?
I'm on drugs.
Did you guys notice the same couple that was making
Billy Club
go back to the interior shots and stuff like that? They would keep like the director would shoot the main hall, and he would keep going back to the same couple making out the whole
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
I think there's even a point later on where like they're still on the couch, but they're passed out.
Yeah, they're asleep. Yeah.
Like I want to say I saw that they like totally just fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Like the dude was like leaning back, like he's gone. But so now Paul gets his head kicked off, which I didn't see coming. You know,
It blew my mind.
Now he gets his arm ripped off. He gets his he shows his hand down his throat.
Oh
Pulls
yeah.
out a rabbit, which I thought was kind of cool. I really thought he was just going to kill him there when he put his hand down his throat. I was like, that should have killed him, but whatever. And then he just proceeds to just putt kick his body. But I thought it was kind of cool.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he ripped his ear off.
They had
He rips his ear off
cool
too.
way of like. He did rip his ear off. That's right. Because he went to do the quarter trick, and he just tore his ear off. He got like kid like a he kicked his head into the I don't know if it was a pond or it was a puddle, but you can see his head falling.
It was a really cool shot too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really stylish.
Like as it was falling down, it let out like that exhale or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
As it went into the water, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did the same thing with the umbrella scene. You know, with the umbrella through the head, which was that's a wild scene, man. Let's talk about that for a second.
I like how
I thought it was pretty cool how she was able to. Yeah, I thought it was cool how she kind of fought back a little bit, you know, like she kicked him in the throat and pulled her heel out and like no kick out, which I thought he instantly healed. I was like, oh shit, Stitch is like, and then she got a shot on him, prevent the spit from hitting him. I thought it was kind of cool little touch. And then I guess she's running off. He just hurls this umbrella through her head. Did not see that coming at all. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Her eye popped out and then it landed in her mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. And then it slowly goes through, or the umbrella slowly goes through her, and then it pops open. It's like, damn.
That was cool.
That shit you just don't see, especially for a little indie. This was really ambitious. Like the gore sequences and stuff were really ambitious for a little movie. This dude.
Yeah, the blood. You know, even though I could definitely tell that whole like, okay, so the majority of that scene, let's face it, is CGI. And you know me, I'm not a fan of CGI, but it was, you know, like you said, it was fitting. It actually looked really good. The blood spatter everywhere. Once that fucking umbrella opens up, blood every fucking where. I thought it was a cool touch.
Yeah, it's the way it bothers. In this film, for some reason, it just doesn't bother. I think it's just because of the tone. I don't know. It just doesn't really bother me.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, there was certain scenes where it did bother me a little bit because, like, you know, I could pick up on it really well, and then there's scenes where it didn't bother me, and I had a great time watching it, and I thought it was very fitting in certain scenes.
I feel like it was a good mixture of both.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't think they went. I think that they, like Tony said, they did a good job of mixing both. As you could tell, the eyeball thing, you know, CGI, sure, but at the same time, you know, like the arm rip scene was practical effects. The exploding head was practical effects. So all that, you know, so you definitely appreciate the hell out of that too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Stitches is just exploding into egg yolk. You know,
I love
all practical effects, but still really cool.
Yeah. great scene
Yeah.
too. That whole lead up to his demise, how they did it, was great.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mhm.
But I think so. I was going to ask you guys what your favorite kill scene was in this movie. And I know it's because it's so elaborate, so creative. To pick one is just really tough. But for me, just because of all the little things that happen, mine would have to be Bulger, because that dude, that was incredible what they did.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Are you talking
incredible.
about? Are you talking about the guy in the pantry?
Yeah. I was. That's my favorite kill.
That
Really?
was amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of everything involved
Yeah.
with
Because
what they're doing. Because I mean, so obviously,
the
Bulger-
everyone's singing and all. Yeah.
dying in your arms tonight, while he's holding him and scooping his brains out into a little like dispenser, like he's serving ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
and pouring the blood over it like it's a topping. And he's like, "Oh, it's food for thought." I'm like, "It's just there's so much amazing shit and creative shit that happens."
And then he lifts him up and uses
Yeah.
him as a ventriloquist dummy.
And that's me too. Up and used him as a ventriloquist puppet. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like sitting there as the chorus is playing. You just die in my arms tonight. And
That
Stitch
was
is just sitting there, like like pantomiming.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
With
It's-
Bulger in his
that-
arms.
That's a pretty cool
Like,
shot.
That was that scene was awesome.
It was
Definitely my
amazing.
favorite kill as well. I really
So-
like that too. So
What about you?
My favorite kills. Well, it's a hard one because I've got two of them. And I guess you would say so. I love the I don't know if you would call it a kill scene because it's not Stitch's killing, but it's his death. I love the first initial death. The whole scene where he grabs the knife, pulls it out, and the minute he pulls it out, it just fucking sprays blood everywhere. And then of course, he slips on his own blood, falls backwards, the knife goes right back perfectly into. That's so fucking cool. I love that. That was a fun, I guess, death scene. Maybe not so much kill scene. I mean, yeah, they technically they killed him by accident, but they did. But Umbrella Girl.
That was cool too. Yeah.
That whole shot, I love it.
Yeah, because I love the Umbrella's a clown face too. Like it just adds to it. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fact that when they, when they introduced him and her in that room, it played like a quick playback to find out that was the girl that threw the fucking umbrella at his head and then gave him the finger.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so she's really just getting what she fucking deserves.
Yeah.
She was just a fucking asshole.
taken from behind.
Yeah, and then and then that balloon pops out, and I didn't even realize that until this viewing. So that's cool. Nice little touch there.
I like they, like you were saying, to where who's who, because some of these kids, like let's be honest, don't look at all like they did when they were kids in the flashback, or not the flashback scene, but the previous scene, 8 thing prior when Stitches dies. So when you see the kids grown up, you're like, that doesn't look like that kid at all. Like, fuck, I'm glad they did that because I wouldn't have known. Like, dude, they look completely different. But yeah, I like that they do that to kind of keep the continuity going with the characters and who they are. I like that.
Yeah.
And they flash back to the kids. But one of the characters, the stoner guy, Richie, I was trying to figure his character out because with films like this and the tropes and everything like that, you think like the stoner guy and stuff like that. I don't know if he was very popular or not in school because he's at the party, he's handing out the pot cookie and all this cool shit and all this, but he's hitting on these girls and some of them are like turning their noses up at him and they're like, one girl even like, I didn't understand this at all. I don't know if it's like something they do in Ireland or what. I don't know, but he's hitting on this girl, and she was drinking a drink, and she just kind of spit it back out in her cup, and then just looked at him, and he just kind of walked away casually, didn't say anything. I'm like, is that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
I don't know what that means.
I picked up on that too. I was like, what the fuck was that about?
I like how his pickup line was, "You want your picture taken? Yeah, you do." Just taking pictures.
But I like it because he was trying to be a Benny. So I was
Well,
like,
that's
all right.
right. He really wasn't trying to be.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he was, but like Benny was like, I need a wingman. He looks over at him, and then he looks over at the other guy, and the other guy's just like dancing, and
That's
he's
not-
like. So then he was like, "Come on, be my wingman."
Yeah, no way from Bulger, dude. That's not happening.
I love the fact that that guy went to the pantry to get a first aid kit and
It's-
saw fucking cans of cherries and went ape shit on those.
He's like my favorite. Like out of all this shit, that's your favorite.
Oh,
Get a cherries
Eating it right out of the can.
right out of the can. I mean, I
he looked like
No
it was
shame.
so terrible, dude. Yeah, he had no shame. I mean, you saw the way he was fucking eating. The shit was just pouring all over him. It was gross.
I like that they're always giving him shit. One guy's like they're in the gym and they're doing like stuff in the gym, like playing basketball and stuff. He's on the side on his phone. He's like, "Are you ordering food online to get?" He's like, "No." And then when he goes away, he's like, "And garlic bread."
This dude's
I
ordering
think
DoorDash at high
I
school.
think at one point they were like, I think like he was carrying food to like the party or whatever, and they were like, "Come on, fat ass."
Oh man.
It happened so quick, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
The stereotypical, yeah. Then ensues the stereotypical movie party where like there's a million people there, like everyone brings booze because high schoolers are just reeking with money and
Telling you.
abilities to buy alcohol.
Well, I don't. This movie
Like-
did take place in Ireland, so
Touche.
it's readily available.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking about that scene where Paul ran up on Tom when he was stoned and he was pretending to be the clown, and I'm like, that's really fucked up for someone as high as he is. That's a fucked up prank to do on somebody.
Mhm.
mhm.
You know what?
Yeah.
He reacted the way he did. Like, no shit. Like, I would have fucking done that too if I was pot cookie.
Well, plus he's got a phobia.
That's
of
why
clowns,
Paul's the
obviously.
first to die.
Yeah. Well, he deserved it, man. He's the biggest dickhead in the whole movie, so he had it coming.
But why did the cat have it coming?
Oh, I'm like, dude, why'd you?
I forgot about that. I love how the cat is included in the body count. He just slamming this cat.
Well, I love how he sits there and beforehand he was like, "Let's see how many lives you have left," and he's just counting them down as he's pelting him.
I think it's funny
Yeah.
'cause he's so fixated. Like, he's not killing anybody else. He's killing the kids that fuck. Like,
And then in the movie, the little
how he broke his his streak, I guess, to fucking kill a cat.
I guess the cat was there, like
Yeah.
by association, maybe.
He was fucking with the nose. Remember?
Yeah, he's fucking with his
So at
nose.
one point he's like fucking with the nose. You hear the nose?
Oh,
squeaking.
yeah.
Which is another cool thing that he uses his nose to sniff people out. He just stops it.
So
Funny.
yeah, it actually takes his whole nose off. That's a pretty cool little touch.
Hmm.
So
If you guys notice, he walks too, he's got his feet kind of out, and he kind of scurries around. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
shuffles.
yeah, shuffles around.
Yeah. Yeah, so
All right.
funny. So
All
funny.
right, so this is obviously a very comical film. So what's your favorite moment? So what's your favorite scene?
Oh god.
I guess you would say like comical wise. What's your favorite scene?
Oh man, there's so many. Damn. The narrative.
I really like that he was chasing him on the bike.
That's my favorite scene.
He's chasing him on a bike. And he tries to go over that hill, and he he can't make it, so he has to get up. He's like, ah, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Picks up the bike and just kind of takes off.
I love the fact that they took off on the bicycles. He turns around and there's a little tricycle there, and he's like, oh. And then you see him just fucking. He was really fucking booking it at one point with that damn thing.
Yeah,
He caught up to him and stabbed the seat.
Yeah.
He goes, wee, sticks his feet out. Oh, man. They had way too much fun filming this movie, and it showed.
Yeah.
So good.
That's why I think a lot of it was
I don't know
probably
what
ad-libbed.
Yeah, good possibility. I will say, I do want to see more of this clown lore, man.
Mhm.
Like, I'd like to see a sequel, maybe. That would be freaking
Well,
awesome.
I
And
mean,
of course, they ended it where they alluded to a sequel.
Mhm.
It needs to happen. I want more Stitches. I want
Yeah.
more Eric.
Yeah, I would like it. He's a
Yeah.
fun little. He's another
Maybe.
icon that could easily slide in there under the franchise. You
Yeah.
know, but I mean, there again, once he kills Tom and Kate, I mean, who's left? He's essentially avenged his death. So what would he do then? You know, unless he just starts.
Go for fun.
Yeah.
I like to the fact that they allude and they say this a couple times where it's like even the head clown of the kind of cult that they have, he's like, a clown can never rest until he finishes a party, and since he didn't get to finish the party, that's why he comes back to kill all the kids that were responsible for his death. And also, like, to mention this, but I also like how he kind of rose from the grave and how he, because his buddy Vinny, he gave him an invitation to his party, and he's got the invitation on his bed, and it kind of flies out the window, and conveniently enough lands on his grave. And that's how
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat too. There's a lot of cool little moments in here that are just like, blink and you miss it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But that was
Yeah.
a way to.
That's a really cool way how they did that. And again, the sequence on him rising out of that grave was pretty cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
At first, his hand pops out and grabs it, and then he starts rising out of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Didn't he come out feet first?
His feet popped out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Little tiny little.
Didn't he just eat Chris Angel up? Pulled a
Wait.
Chris Angel.
I think they really utilized all their locations too, man. Because there's not a lot of locations in this movie. Really, it's at the house. They do a couple of scenes in the school. Then they have the graveyard, and it's like they really utilize a lot of these locations flawlessly, man. They get the most out of them. I mean, you only get a couple, but they get a lot out of them. So, especially the graveyard. I mean, I would have loved to have seen more of the clown stuff in the graveyard. That would have been fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool how they were all lined up, and they were all different clowns. They had different outfits on. They had different, I think there was a jester looking one, and there was more. I can't remember the what kind of clown art the clown is, but there was not that he's a mime. He's essentially miming, but there's a term for that type of look for a clown. I think there was one of those in the group, so it was just cool to see them doing their thing. And when they were finished with their ritual or whatever, they would pop the poppers off, and the streamers would fly out everywhere. And it's just cool little moments like that. But there's so fucking many, dude, because you see there's tons of these eggs on this giant shelf. So there's so many fucking clowns.
Mm-hmm.
So the possibilities, I mean, if they wanted to do a sequel, the possibilities are endless, man. You can do a lot of shit. You can get really fucking balls to the wall with these clowns and have a bunch of them pop up. So, I mean, sky's the limit, really. They set up the lore. That's why I like the way they set up the lore. They set up the lore perfectly to where you can get more films, turn this into a franchise, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they used kind of like Irish folklore. Irish folklore is pretty strong. I'm not so much saying about clowns because I don't really know what the folklore is behind clowns, but Ireland in itself is very big into folklore and stuff. So I think that's why it works, and it's quite fitting in this location too. And then to see like there being a secret society based around the clowns, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, very, very neat, man.
Mm-hmm.
So glad that they kind of ended it on a stinger to where, oh man, we could definitely have a sequel in the not too distant future.
Mm-hmm.
You have the head. I don't know if we even forgot his name, but the head of the clown cult, essentially, he's like piecing his egg back together very meticulously, making everything's perfect. While I mind you, he's getting head from the clown hooker.
The clown hooker. I want to know her story.
All right, let's get into her backstory. But you notice when Stitches is having his funeral, the only people there are the hookers.
There was a priest.
Right, because someone has, absolutely. But the only attendees were really the hookers. I was like, it's fucked up, man. Did lead. So.
It was a wonderful paying customer.
Yeah, but damn, he was dedicated. When that bell rang and he had to be at his appointment, he threw that bitch down and he's like, I gotta go. I got a kid.
He was gone.
Yeah,
in the middle. I don't even know if he finished. He was just like, gotta go.
Gotta go. He put his suspenders on and shit. That was so funny.
Oh man,
so many fucking comedy. This movie just works for me on all levels with the comedy. It's my kind of humor. I dig it.
Most definitely. So, boys, ready to move into ratings?
Yeah. Are you Tony, or you want to talk a little bit more? Or?
No, I'm ready, man.
Okay.
Ready.
Let's go first.
Who's going first?
I'll go first. What the hell?
Okay.
I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I really did. I I would love to watch it again soon. Just because to see if I can catch up on like some of the other humor as well. Very well shot, great kills, great one-liners, everything I want in a slasher. It is over the top. So when you watch it, it is definitely, assuming you haven't already seen it before you listen to our review, it is over the top. So, but if you're like a big fan of like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but a little bit more grounded, that makes sense. This is definitely a movie you want to check out. So it's a lot of fun. I gave it a 4-star out of 5 on Letterboxd. So,
all right, right on. Tony, or you want me to go?
I'll go, man.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, Stitches is a blast. I remember watching this way back when it first came out, enjoying the hell out of it, absolutely loving the comedy. The comedy always works for me. There's so many like funny moments, too many funny moments to name. I mean, we did a pretty damn good job of naming off a lot. There's still plenty more that we didn't even talk about. There's just so many. It's insane, but it's constantly. It's great for repeat watches, man. You pop it in, like I said, you pop it in if you're having like a shit day, and you pop it in, you watch, and you're like, all right, I'm getting a little bit better, man. I'm feeling it. It's get me back to form. So, like I said, it's a slasher film, so of course the plot is not the story is not all over the place. It's very simple. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect for what it is. To your point, Corey, I can see how there's some moments where the CGI can get really, really noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the fact that they were able to take this on the budget and mix in the practicality with the CGI and it to feel very like it just blended right. It just felt like it needed to be there. And I'm usually a major proponent of like nothing but like, especially with a slasher film, nothing but practical effects. Gotta have practical effects. For somebody like me to say that, hey man, CGI could have worked in this, it's saying something because I hate it. I don't like it in my horror films or my slasher, but sometimes you get it, man. It happens. I mean, but it didn't bother me. It just really didn't. I didn't really think about it too much. I got sucked into like the core set piece, man, of the practicality, the insane creative kills that they had going on. You don't see kills like this in any other film, man. Let's be honest. Not this creative anyway. But and Ross Noble, loved him, man. This is definitely a character we need more of because I feel like we're losing out not having another Stitches movie like a Stitches Part 2 or something like that. We need more of his character. It's just too funny. Too much of a jokester for us not to get more. But yeah, I'm with Daniel. I gave it 4 out of 5 star for sure.
Okay.
So much fun. Highly recommended.
Okay. Yeah. For me, this film does a lot for me. I love serious tone films, but at the same time, I also love, films that are very comical as well. I can just sit down, have a good time. This honestly comes to, when you want to have a beer with a buddy, sit down and watch a good horror film. I think actually we viewed this together that way, Tony. I think you introduced me to this film years ago. And yeah, it's just a very comical film and very fun one-liners, stuff like that. I think overall, the reason why I rated it the way I did was because I didn't care for the nose bouncing around. That was just me. like I feel like Stitches has supernatural powers to where he can be at one place and then boom, he's somewhere else. I have noticed that he moved around quite fast throughout this whole house, not just walking around, but to have his nose kind of sniff him out. And I guess maybe that's a part of something that they added as a touch that they wanted in the film, but I didn't care for it. And another thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that like he knew where people were at all times, but yet he couldn't find them in the graveyard, stuff like that. So there was some flaws to the story, stuff like that I picked up on this go round. So I did actually rate it at 3.5, but it is a solid higher end 3.5. I really had a hard time deciding whether or not I was going to do a 4 or 3.5. But honestly, if I could rate this 3 3/4, it would have been perfect. But I can't. So, but overall, I had fun with it though, and I still recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's a fun time.
It really is. And again, like you said, I want to see more Stitches. Because let's face it, Ross Noble. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing if he can play some other villains or something in a horror film, because I think he would actually be fun in more films.
Just more films in general, like not even if you were Stitches Part 2, just something, because he really is a charismatic dude and he's really funny. So to see him in another film, I mean, or some more horror, that would be great. I don't know if he's just concentrating on being a comedian or what, and he's just doing that as kind of like a fun little thing. Or, I mean, I don't know, but like I said, I'd love to see him get back into it. I think that would be beneficial for him to showcase more of his comedic talents, to let more people around the world see him. Maybe he's just waiting for that right opportunity. I don't know.
I don't know. And maybe he is in stuff. It's just low budget stuff from other countries that we don't know about.
Could be.
Yeah.
I didn't on IMDb. Should have.
I mean, he's got a stand up too. Like comedians tour a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Travel a lot. So.
And they take that more serious than I'm sure than acting. So.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it probably what he's mainly focused on is his stand-up comedy, and it was just like a fun one-off thing he was doing just on the side. It's like, hey, that sounds like a fun idea. Let me just do it. Just get out my. I don't know.
It worked.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, ready to land the plane?
Let's do it.
Cool. This has been our 2012 review. It's been our review of 2012 Stitches. Hope you enjoyed. We appreciate you listening, watching on YouTube, and the anywhere you can listen to podcasts like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast. We greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to follow us on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. We will be continuing our summer slasher series. So next episode is the roulette, isn't it?
Yep.
Man, we're already another roulette. Okay. So
It's going by fast.
It's going by real fast. So, but we appreciate everyone, and we wouldn't do this if it weren't for you guys listening and chiming in on Facebook groups, and we've shout out to some of our listeners and people who have been following us on the Facebook group. You've been posting stuff you've been watching and all, and we always welcome that. We always welcome conversation. There's been some great conversations in there recently, so let's keep that up. Let's get the word out there and let everybody know we're out there. We're putting out content, and we're checking out all these movies that if you're a fan of movies and you want something new to watch, somewhere within the almost 50 episodes we've done so far.
This is number 50.
This is number 50.
This is number 50.
I didn't realize that. I was waiting for it. But yeah, so as we have 50 episodes now, so you don't have an excuse. Check us out. Tell your friends. So, but with that being said, I think we're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, guys.